What's up, guys? AB Sports here. I'm the B in AB Sports, and here's the A.
What's up, guys? Austin from AD Sports here.
We're going to talk some big news today. The NFL. New team? Maybe? Phoenix Redbirds? That is not news. I'm joking. Anyways, let's get into the real news. Now we're going to get into the next article. Can the NFL really return to normal this fall? What do you think, Austin? Can it?
I think it depends on how safe and how comfortable the players and coaches feel getting back on that football field, knowing what's going on around them.
I totally agree. It's all about the players and coaches' opinions, and the NFL and Roger Goodell can't do much about it. We look right here. These are the coronavirus trends. Hardest hit is like the Seahawks. Los Angeles is the big one. That's one of the epicenters. That's got three teams. It used to have four teams. Three teams right there, and that's 1/4 of the NFL. Well, 1/8 of the NFL. Wait, yes, 1/8 of the NFL. I think something like that. But either way, a lot of teams are getting hit with this. A lot of the places that aren't getting hit with it are places that don't have teams. So, I mean, what are we gonna see? A 24-team NFL? I mean, we can't really do that. Maybe even less. We go further down the article, and we have this article is mainly just saying how much it's just up in the air right now, and a lot of people, such as Kareem Jackson, they're scared of their family. Like if they go into the locker room, they're scared to get this COVID and return it to their player or to their family, their friends, everyone. They don't want to hurt people. What do you think about that, Austin? What do you?
I think that putting the safety of others around them is the right move, whether it's the players, the coaches, even the commissioner. I think if the virus is going to be an issue and still pass around at the time, I don't think there should be an NFL season. I think other safety should always be first.
Absolutely. So the exact quote from 10-year veteran for the Denver Broncos, Kareem Jackson, is, "I think for us, it doesn't make any sense to play games. Let's have it completely 100% safe for us to go out there. If there's any threat for us, of us, being able to contract COVID in any way and spread it to our families or anybody else, it just doesn't make any sense." And this is absolutely true, as we found out with the Ultimate Fighting Championship, found out this past Saturday that it had to cancel one of their bouts because of their fighter and two of his cornermen were tested positive. That is not something that the NFL wants to deal with. UFC is under a lot of pressure right now to cancel, just as the NBA has done, NHL, soccer, literally every sport out there has done this. And then some of the big questions is, do they quarantine the whole team? If an offensive lineman is practicing with a defensive lineman, they have tested positive. What happens to the rest of the line? Because this is a broader thing. This is not just looking at, oh, one person can get it. One person can spread it to everybody, not just the players, not just the family, but the fans. And the big thing is about the fans. The New York Jets are thinking about just making it so that they don't do season ticket holders. I mean, they only use season ticket holders, and they do not do single games. How is that going to affect the entire economy of the NFL? It is going to hurt the economy. It's going to hurt the players. Not a lot of people are going to do it. The president of Miami Dolphins, they said that they're going to put it down to 15,000 people, and that's just a quarter of the stadium. That's not going to be a lot of money. I mean, that's like the people who are working those stadiums, they don't make that much money. What do you think, Austin?
I like that you brought that up. I'm going to touch back on that. How operating at half or lower capacity, that's going to severely affect their income. Trying to run those NFL bases on a decreased income is going to be very hard and could actually hurt them more than just holding out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think that the virus does not know where to stop. The virus is not going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
When a player steps out on that field, all one of them has to do is carry the virus. Doesn't even have to know they have it. Carry the virus out onto the field. Everyone is at risk. All of their families are at risk. All their families' friends are at risk. And it just keeps going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And this isn't just a physical threat. This is an economic, this is social threat. This is just everything that could possibly be awful to the NFL, because NFL, and we'll get into college football later, NFL is solely based on the fans, basically. Who care? I mean, Roger Goodell, honestly, I don't think he cares much about the NFL other than that it makes him money. He's not going to be able to make that much money. The players are probably going to maybe have to take a pay cut. I don't know if the NBA took a pay cut yet, but NFL players might have to take a pay cut. And NFL is lucky that they're not playing, like, they got to play their Super Bowl. They were so lucky that they got to play their Super Bowl. I think about that every day. They were lucky to even, because that was in February. February, I don't even remember the date, early February, that the Super Bowl happened. Like, I mean, they're lucky. NBA got screwed over this year. NHL screwed over. Soccer screwed over. The NFL is going to have to think of something fast, because they can't really do this digitally much longer. They can't play NFL games digitally. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, we're going to get into our next topic. Okay, let's take a look at this article. This is called USC's Clay Helton in Pac-12 discussed 11-game conference-only schedule. Man, that is just, it's just like this COVID-19 is just hurting everything. It's hurting NFL, and it's going to hurt college football, because what happens with the college football playoff? I know some people say, how much does that matter? And Austin, you actually were talking about earlier about your plan for possibly the college football playoff. Please tell me about your plan that you had in place.
Yes, I touched on that earlier. I was just kind of thinking of a solution to finding the true talent levels of teams if they go through with what they're proposing here with this conference-only schedule. And that consists of having the top team for every conference playing in like a bracket-style playoff. That could be very controversial, for talent level. There could be more than one championship-caliber team in each conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And plus, what about the cupcake conferences? Just like Clemson and sometimes Oklahoma plays cupcake games.
Or the independents. What are they going to do in that situation?
Exactly, the independents. And plus, the biggest thing about all this, how do you have college football without college? Like, that is just crazy. And Stuart Mandel tweets, USC coach Clay Helton said an 11-game conference-only schedule has been discussed in Pac-12 meetings. That's been one of my many structures of our discussion. Depending on where, we are 6 to 8 weeks from now. So that's meaning we could get an answer in 6 to 8 weeks, which is, I know it seems like a long time, but this coronavirus is definitely going a lot faster than some would think. Tomorrow it's going to be 2 months for us out of school. Stanford head coach David Shaw was asked about this scenario. Asked what a legitimate playoff is if only half the conferences are playing. David Shaw today said, that was weird. That's the question, isn't it? This is the biggest question. How do you have a legitimate playoff with when only half the conferences are playing? How do you do that? And yes, Austin had a great point, and I wanted to bring that up mainly, not to make fun of him or anything, but it is flawed because of what do you do with the independents, what do you do with Clemson's cupcake schedule, and what do you do with the fact that they're not going to be able to play each other? Because the whole reason that they're holding out playing each other is because they don't want to get in contact with other teams. But if you do that, you're going to be in contact with other teams. No matter what, you're going to be in contact with other teams, because Texas is going to have to, either Texas is going to travel to West Virginia, or West Virginia is going to travel to Texas. You know, it's a far road. Oregon is going to have to travel, or Washington is even farther. Washington's got to travel all the way down to California. Oregon's got to travel all the way over to Colorado. It's like, it's a never-ending cycle, and the only way to stop it is honestly stopping this entire thing. Josh Furlong talks about it. Says David Shaw said, if it just goes to conference play, how do you compare conference for a college football playoff? Say you likely have to expand just to get teams in, but nobody knows how this will look. This would obviously get rid of the non-conference schedule this season, but this is just one of my many discussion points. So, of course, I already talked about that a little bit. And it's just okay, so this is another thing I want to talk about is going away from like the non-conference games. We can't do that. Like there's some good, especially Pac-12 talking about it right now. USC is scheduled to play Alabama and Notre Dame. Those are two. That would be two amazing matches. When was the last time Alabama and USC played? I don't remember, honestly. I don't know if they honestly ever have. And then USC and Notre Dame is a classic. Oregon, Ohio State is supposed to be amazing. Oregon can finally. Oh, that was another story that just came out. Oregon has officially announced that through September 30th, I think, they are not going to have fans. So that is during the Ohio State game. That is going to affect it massively. And then Washington versus Michigan. That is another a big game. I think this year is in Washington. Utah, BYU. Obviously, the Civil War is a big game. And then many other. I mean, pretty good Power 5 games. California TCU, Oregon State, Oklahoma State, Colorado, and Texas A&M. The decisions of so this is Scott. Scott. I don't know his last name. Where is it? Probably the writer of this article. Either way, Scott said decisions about fans attending are really going to be made by public health officials. So obviously this is just speculation, but I hate it. I hate not thinking about this whole everything. So let's wrap up with our final thoughts. What do you think about anything, Austin? NFL, NCAA, what do you think about it?
I'm going to finish off the NCAA article right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just correcting your facts a little bit.
Okay.
Last time Alabama and USC played was in 2016.
Okay. Oh, wow.
52-6.
Oh, wow.
There. But looking past just the football factor of NCAA and more to the school factor, if they're not going to have school, how could you possibly have school athletics?
Exactly.
Well, any athletics in general. How is that going to affect the school population as a whole? The teachers, the staff, the parents at home, the relatives?
Yeah.
It's just like the NFL. It's going to start there, and it's going to branch out and be even worse.
Absolutely. And there's this whole talk about paying players now, because the whole initiative's trying to come out with paying the players. Like, how the heck is that going to work? How are you going to come up with that money? Like, that's I mean, you're going to pay them quite a bit of money, because they're gonna want quite a bit of money. I mean, Zion Williamson has already been paid quite a bit of money. I'm joking. That is all speculation. I don't know. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for this episode of, I don't know what this is called yet. We'll come up with the title later. Insert text.
I would like to add something real quick.
Oh, sorry. One more thing.
I do raise the question, what's going to happen to true freshmen this year who can't play? Do they get to play next year, even though it'd be their first season? And what happens to the seniors that plan on declaring for the NFL if there's no season for their senior year?
Absolutely. That is a absolutely huge question.
How the NCAA is going to handle that?
Yeah, the NCAA already had to kind of handle it with basketball. Basketball, they totally, this is going to be different, though, because basketball, they already played a whole season, technically. Where now, the NFL hasn't even started. NCAA is really what we're talking about, but NCAA hasn't even started yet. So they're not even going to have a season at all. So do the seniors get an extra year? Huh.
And did the true freshmen stay true freshmen for 2 years?
Right? Those questions, we can't answer them right now, but hopefully in further videos we can answer those questions. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and see you next time. AB Sports out.